All right, well, that was certainly fun. Thanks for hanging in, everybody. This live stream is already off to a great start. Now, let's not lie about anything. I'm always late to my live streams, pretty much regardless, because I'm generally a very optimistic person with my time. But yeah, had some technical difficulties today. Usually, I use an overhead boom mic that actually has an on-off button. That button wasn't working for some reason, so I didn't want to uh, basically come online with not having everything together. So I apologize for the wait. Most of my experienced viewers will know that that's pretty much just what happens around here at Belligerent Amateur Central. So, with that being said, how's everybody doing today? It's been quite a while since I've done a live stream. I think a couple months actually. And yeah, I don't know. I was just feeling social today. So I figured, you know what? I gotta send the MT100 back as soon as I'm done wrapping this video up, and let's do some stuff with it, man. Let's do some things. There have been a couple of questions that people have asked me about this thing, and I wanted to address them with you guys personally and directly. There still seems to be a lot of questions floating around on the internet about this amplifier. It seems to have, I guess, lived up to the hype to a lot of people. Some people have been disappointed, but it really was a very hyped up amplifier. I think the amount of views that I got on my original video show that, and there are a lot of people interested in this thing. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna greet some guys here, and then I will show you the first tone that I have dialed in. We've got the other John Brown saying what's up right away. So what's up, John Brown? Everybody go check out his channel, especially if you're into the speaker nerdery type stuff. Mark Penny's in here. What's going on, Mark? We got Squid Vicious, Jimmy Biter, Barry Gomez, Phantom Knot. Pretty much all of my guys who are always here all the time. I appreciate you guys for being here. Yeah. So with that being said, what did you guys? I want to get your opinions on this amplifier before I play a couple riffs real quick. I want to see basically what your thoughts have been post launch. I mean, did Ola do a video? I can't remember if Ola did a video. I don't think he did. Fluff did a video. I did a video. Agufish did a video. I saw Tone Wars just threw up a video today. So of all the people who have thrown up videos, what are your guys' overall impressions of the amplifier? I'm gonna go through, see what you guys think before I give you my impressions. There was something with the mids on the 15 that you didn't like. Justin, I already did the review, my man. It's been up for a week at this point. So if you want to check that out, just head over to my actual channel page, and it's like the second video. I haven't put up very much in the last couple weeks. I've been playing it kind of slow. What's up, Scott? Kid Navajo. Exactly what you expected it to be. Okay. That makes two of us. You think it's lived up to the expectations most people had for it. Curious if it's just a souped up Archon. I wouldn't even say souped up. Like, it's a similar sounding amplifier. There's nothing really souped up about it. 5 years in the making, you were expecting something groundbreaking. I feel like that is, for anybody who has been underwhelmed by the amplifier, I feel like that is the general consensus. Yeah, I don't know what all the hangups were. I know one of them was the crunch channel. He wanted to get the crunch channel just like his Dumble, so I guess that was pretty difficult. And I think that that's mainly what the hangup was. But, I could be wrong. That's just what I heard. That's what I remember hearing. Listened to a couple of podcasts with him, and it seemed like that was the main thing. Is the MT100 good enough to be played live? Yeah, man. I mean, if Mark Tremonti's playing this thing live, you don't need my opinion on whether it works live or not. It obviously does. I think it's a good sounding amp. It's definitely not my favorite, but I would definitely choose it above a lot of other amps at the same time. It's definitely an amp that I dig. Seems like it does exactly like what it says on the box. I would agree with that, John. It's a no frills. For a modern amplifier to be released in 2023, I consider this stripped down. Yes, it has 3 channels, but that's pretty much it. There's no crazy switching. There's no built-in boosts and gates. There's no multiple loops, your serial loop and your parallel loop. There's none of that stuff that you find on a lot of more modern spec amplifiers. Yeah. So for me, that's welcome because I don't need all that stuff and I don't want to pay for it if I'm buying an amp like this. Like you know me, belligerent amateur. I'm looking for the minimum. Just give me a really good high gain channel. That's all I care about. So, does it need a noise gate as bad as the MT15? Yeah, it's a noisy amp for sure. Jared says he's still on the video or on the fence on the MT100 today doing a comparison video. Yeah, I'm kind of curious, man. There are things I really like about it. There are things that I don't love about it. So I definitely don't think that it's like a god tier amp, I guess, to put it, you know, to put it straight. But I think it's a good amp for sure. And I think it's going to come down to a matter of taste. One of the things that I will say that I find the most surprising about it is it just lacks clarity. It doesn't have very much clarity at all. So if you're going for that wall of sound thing, it's cool. It's going to cover a lot of sonic ground. But if you want note definition and stuff like that, you're not going to get it on this amplifier. It just is not there. First impression is that it's nothing special for Troy, dude, $1,800 in today's market, that's not a high price. That's pretty reasonable in my opinion. Especially if you consider like EVH, like the EVH amplifiers are, what are they, like $2,500 for the 100-watt models, and they're made in Mexico, so they're still not technically made in America. I mean, I don't know, man. This thing seems to be made with quality parts. I forget, somebody posted a gut shot and it didn't look terrible. Between an MT100, a dual rec, or an Engel SE Founders Edition, I mean, it comes down to taste, but a dual rec for me over either the other two every time. Dual rec is a classic sound, and it's a legend for a reason. You know, the Engel SE Founders Edition, I feel like that's an amp that's legendary to people who have never played it and to a couple of people on the forums, but for the most part, man, I like Engel stuff, but it just is not what I'm looking for. Other than the Fireball is a very, very good amplifier for my personal taste, but none of the other Engel stuff really, you know, I don't go crazy for it. I don't think it's bad. It's just a different tone than I normally go for. Haven't noticed any hum, just hiss, preamp hiss, but I haven't noticed any sort of hum. All right, before I lose anybody on the playback here, because people are going to be wondering when I play the amp, I'm going to go ahead and play a couple riffs on it real quick. For right now, I've got my Balaguer Espada Select, and this has the Hypernova pickups in it, which are a modern ceramic high output type of pickup. So I'm going to play a couple riffs, and then we'll get back to talking. Starting off great. I already knocked my microphone down. Thank you for the super chat, Ethan. I really appreciate it, dude. What was I going to start with? Do I notice additional noise? Any graphic EQ, if you're boosting frequencies, there will be noise. So just keep that in mind. If I turn it on and I've got the highs boosted, which I do a little bit, yeah, you're going to get a little bit of additional noise. And I've got the output boosted. That's also going to create noise, so keep that in mind. Just as long as you don't go crazy boosting frequencies like crazy, you should be okay. So let's put this in standby. I would say this amp, first of all, this Randall cab, this is a Randall XL cab with 16 ohm vintage 30s in it. The reason that I'm using this cabinet is because with the Mesa 4x12 that I usually use in all my videos, the one that I used for the actual review of the amplifier, that rolled off a lot of the high-end frequencies that I feel like this amp kind of needs. It's missing a couple high-end frequencies that make it sound bitey, and if you try to push them with the presence or with the treble too much, it can sound harsh, you know, it kind of suffers from that thing. I just noticed, is that light in the background distracting? I was filming a video right before doing this live stream, so let me know if that light in the background is distracting. But yeah, so this guitar has very little low end in comparison to some of my other guitars. So that's why the amp sounded like it probably didn't have too much low end there particularly, but I will say the low end on this is definitely not on par with a rectifier. I believe Devin asked, does it have the low end of a rectifier? No, it does not. It definitely does not have the low end of a rectifier. It's tighter, for one. It's tighter, but I also feel like, you know, when I played the review video, when I'm sitting beside it right now, honestly, it seems like it's lacking low end a little bit. But when I played the review, I did not feel that way. So it could just be the positioning of the amp in the room right now, and the particular cab. This cab might be a little stiffer, might not flex as much as the Mesa, so therefore it seems like it doesn't have as much low end resonance. But with any modern amplifier, I really feel like omitting something like a resonance control is just silly. Like, why would you not put a resonance control on the power amp section? It doesn't make any sense to me, honestly. Just put it in, man. Like, everybody is going to say that they want that. Nobody is going to say, oh, I don't want a depth control. Like, come on, bro. I really think that was kind of a misstep in my personal opinion, but that's just me. I don't know what you guys are talking about as far as ground hum. I don't hear ground hum. I just hear preamp hiss. I'm not hearing any ground hum. So Jared says he agrees with the top end. Yeah, man, that's one of my main, I guess, struggles with the amplifier. I have been able to get the top end where I like it, but it's a very small range on the controls to where you know, I feel comfortable, I guess, or to where I like the way that it sounds. I do like the amp. Harsh Truth asked me, do I like it? Yeah, I definitely like it, and I would definitely use it in multiple occasions. Like, I don't get to keep it. I actually have to send it back to PRS, but if I found a good deal on one in the future, I would definitely pick one up. Am I going to buy it at the $1,850 price point? No. I mean, there's no reason for me to buy any amp at this point. So just keep that in mind. But like if I were a prospective buyer on the high gain amplifier market, and let's say I had a 5153 100 watt and a dual rectifier and a Marshall DSL 100 HR, you know, kind of covering the spectrum a little bit, would I feel like this thing is going to give me anything that those amps are not going to? No. It's, in fact, I would still choose all three of those amplifiers over this one. Probably most times. So that is my thoughts. I don't think it's bad. I think if you want something that kind of gets you partway to a Bogner Uberschall, but also gives you an incredible clean channel and a crunch channel, I think that this would be a good call. No, haven't used the effects loop at all, honestly. Have not used the effects loop. You are welcome, Luis. Happy to do it. Everybody says it looks like the Rando RM100. It definitely does. Like, they even have, like, the module outlines. It's kind of funny. Nah, I'm good, man. I'm not going to be trying the Mesa OS cab. I'm not going for Tremonti's tones. So, I'm going for my tones. Yeah, I like it. I wouldn't lie to you guys. I do like it. I think it's a good sounding amplifier. And again, I would use it live and have no qualms with using it live. But again, it's just not going to be my first choice. Yeah, exactly. The Archon, I don't think that the Archon and the MT series sound all that different from each other, honestly. They're pretty close. I think the Archon has better clarity, better note definition, but they're both dark amplifiers. They're both thick amplifiers. That's why I tell everybody, if you have the Archon, you think it sounds a little dull or a little dark, play it through a front-loaded cab, because a front-loaded cab is going to be, it's going to be more beamy, it's going to be more directional, it's going to be brighter, it's going to be tighter, and those are going to fix some of the issues with the Archon, in my personal opinion. So, would I pick it over an Uberschall? Man, that's tough. That's actually a really tough question. Probably yeah, because it's tighter than an Uberschall. And Uberschalls are really, really smooth for the most part. This one I can at least get the top end grind that I want out of it. I would say the Uberschall is a little clearer, which is a big thing for me with amplifiers as well. When amps are lacking in note definition, it bugs me. In a live setting, you don't know it as much, but yeah. I think I would pick it over an Uberschall considering the price. As far as new amps go on the market, I don't think $1,800 is steep at all. I really don't. With the current, just the crazy markups and stuff on everything, if you consider, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think that that's unreasonable as far as prices go. If you compare it with something like the Marshall DSL 100 HR, which is like $1,100, yeah, I mean, or an Iconic, I would still choose a 5150 Iconic over this because I love the Iconic. And that's $1,000. Yeah, there are cheaper models on the market, but I guarantee you that PRS is, just because it's made in Indonesia, you know, those amps are putting in very cost-effective parts. They're skimping, they're cutting corners in order to hit those price points. Whereas I bet you any money that the MT100 is not cutting any corners when it comes to quality and stuff, because I can't see Mark putting out a signature amplifier that he's going to put his name on, that he's going to tour with, being okay with skimping on quality to get the price point down. So I'm going to guess that that's where that $1,800 price point comes from. Now, I'll wait for other people to kind of dig into it and take a look and see what they find. Again, I saw gut shots, didn't see anything egregious, but then again, I'm not the most qualified person to comment on that either. Favorite booster for this amp? The MXR M77 really combines well with it. That was the one that, no, I don't think I had it on. I'll turn it on the next time that we play, but there's something about the way that the mids and the high end sits with this amp that just really, really goes well with that MXR M77. Drew, no, I don't think that he cared about cost, honestly. I really don't. I think he's an amp nerd, so he wanted what he wanted for his amp with his signature on it, and I think that he's a guy that just likes simple amplifiers. So he made a simple amplifier. The MT100 gut shots were in one of the Facebook groups. I can't remember which one though. I was in so many of them. I recently left a lot of the Facebook groups for exactly the reason that that last video that I made. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know as far as the construction. It's, again, guys, where something is made is not a direct correlation of the quality of that item. It all depends on how much the company is investing in the manufacturing of that item. Meaning, you can make something in Indonesia, which is very, very cheap, or Vietnam or China. It's very cheap as far as labor goes, but like that, you can still put top quality parts in those items, and the manufacturing in those countries has gotten to the point where they can make quality products. Like it's just a matter of they don't pay their workers as much because the cost of living and the cost of living is lower, but the living standards are lower. So naturally, the labor is lower. But that doesn't mean that they can't put good parts into the items that they make. So I think people just automatically seeing something made in Indonesia and thinking that it's going to be crappy quality or lower quality than something made somewhere else. I think you're fooling yourself, man. And I'm not defending companies sending things overseas at all. I'm just saying that that's a false correlation or a false equivalent of saying if it's made in Indonesia, it's automatically garbage. If it's made in China, it's automatically garbage. I get the sentiment, I get the politics around it for sure. But still, that does not take away from the fact that it can be a quality item if it's made overseas. The MT100 is definitely not tighter than the Iconic. Definitely not tighter than the Iconic. So what makes the Iconic stand out over this? It just sounds like a 5150. It's my personal opinion. That's what makes it stand out. Remember, guys, everything that I'm telling you is my opinion. None of this stuff is fact. None of this is, anything that you guys should adopt as your own opinions without trying stuff first. So please remember that. This is all strictly my opinion. My opinion is that I really like 5150s pretty much more than anything, and the Iconic is a fantastic sounding amplifier, especially if you throw a little 10-band EQ in the loop, boost the mids where they're missing out of the amplifier. It's just fine. So I've also noticed it's not quite as noisy as this one, and I can get the sounds that I want out of it. This one I struggle a little bit. Okay, so he was thinking about price point. All right, I find that surprising. Couple people mentioned he was thinking about the price point. So, I mean, but still, how much do you really have to cut if you're making something and selling it for $1,800 from Indonesia? I feel like making something there, they probably didn't skimp on too much. Again, that's my thought. Obviously, $1,800 versus $1,100, like for something like the DSL 100 HR, I can guarantee you're going to find higher quality parts in this. For one, the transformers in this thing are massive. Transformers are absolutely massive. So, keep that in mind. I mean, the transformers in this are probably much higher quality than you're going to find in either the Iconic or the DSL 100 HR. And those are the most expensive components in the amplifier. So, the high end can be brittle. It definitely can be brittle if you dial it up too far, trying to get the bite that a lot of us are used to out of it. Yeah, it can be, but for the most part, I would say that this is a dark amp overall, And there's a threshold on both the treble control and on the presence control where it's like really dark, and then you hit that threshold and there's a tiny little sweet spot, and then after that it can be harsh for sure. All right, let's grab a different guitar. Let's grab something. What do we want to grab? We've already heard it a million times with my Balaguer. Let's grab something else. Let's grab a Les Paul of some sort. I'm gonna grab a Les Paul. Let's grab a Les Paul. Grab a Les Paul. All right, 2023 Gibson Les Paul 60s standard. I recently reset this guitar up, and I was not that impressed with it for a long time, but the nut was cut really, really high, and I just filed down the nut, and now I'm very impressed with it. So here we go. I'm going to play a couple riffs real quick. All right, so, yeah, this guitar has the burst puckers in it, and they're not potted, so we were getting a lot of noise, a lot of feedback. But overall, I did like how this sounded through there quite a bit tonally, because it brightened up lower output pickups on high gain amps, guys. I always love lower output pickups on high gain amps because you get more clarity, you get more response from the pickups, you get more dynamics, Usually you get more high end because when most pickups, when they're wound hotter, they darken up, they compress a little bit. In this case, it sounds to me better with the lower output pickup because it's got so much gain on tap in the amp. Nope, it's the pickup not being potted. That's what you're hearing, my friend. All right, so somebody asked about a Gibson Les Paul Custom, and I happen to have one with the 498T in the bridge. But if you want to hear a 498T, you can also grab most studios from the 90s into the mid-2000s because they all had 498Ts. This guitar definitely is in need of a setup because I haven't played it in a minute, and the weather changed here recently. So keep that in mind. I'm going to tune it up real quick before I bludgeon your guys' eardrums. Well, maybe not. The battery's dead. Of course it's dead. Oh, it's not dead. All right, cool. I was like, how's that dead? I never used it. I also need to get a new bridge for this guitar because it's got a rattle and I can't figure out how to get rid of it. The saddles, I can adjust the saddles, but it doesn't seem to matter. And if you guys want to hear it with a studio instead of a custom, since that's more realistic for most people, I just got a studio off Craigslist for $600 the other day, and a finish that I am very excited about. It's a finish I always wanted for myself personally. I don't know why I said for myself, as if I'm buying guitars for anybody else. All right, so the neck on this thing is definitely, it needs some tension put in it. The strings are a little far off the fretboard. So it'll probably sound a tad darker than it normally does, just letting you guys know. And by the way, for those of you guys always asking me, what my favorite pickups are, these are it. Gibson 498T is my favorite pickup. So All right. So, yeah, this one sounds a little duller than it normally does. Again, because the neck needs some tension. Get those strings a little closer to the frets, and the strings are a little old too. I have too many guitars, so unfortunately they don't all get played all that often. But anyways, this is an 05 custom. I don't know why you're shocked that it had a $200 set of pickups and a $5,000 guitar. They don't, I mean, yeah, they don't really get that much more expensive when it comes to pickups, and 498T is a very popular pickup. You know what's funny is Sean Martin has one of my old Gibson Les Paul customs. I sold a 1980 wine red Les Paul custom to my friend Rick, who plays guitar in 100 Demons, and he bought it specifically to give it to Sean because Sean had an old wine red Les Paul custom, an old Norland era one that got stolen. So yeah, somebody also said the rattling is a fret. That's 100% not a fret. That rattle is not a fret, bro. So I don't know what world you live in. I appreciate you trying, but a rattling fret does not sound like that. No, this guitar probably 9.5 pounds, I would say. It's not too bad. 9.5 pounds. It looks chunky. I just got another Les Paul custom. Let me show you. You want to talk about a heavy guitar? How about a Norland era Gibson Les Paul custom? Because this thing is heavy. This thing is very heavy. So this is a 1980 Les Paul custom. Bought this off of a friend of mine who's unfortunately going through some things at the moment, and he needed to sell this guitar. I actually helped him track down this guitar, and I bought it for him, and he paid me back over time. So when he said that he was having a rough time financially, the guitar was one of the last things that he wanted to sell. But he ended up, I said, hey, well, sell it to me, and then that way it's always here. And if you ever want to buy it back, if things improve on your end, then I'll sell it back to you, of course, for what I paid for it. So yeah, this guitar still has the Shaw pickups in it. Luckily, I told him to change. When he got it, he said it sounded really dark and dull. I'm like, well, these old Norland era customs have 100K pots in them. 100K. Like, for reference, something like an LTD EC1000 or any modern guitar with passive pickups has 500K. So, yeah, it's very, very dark. So he replaced the bridge volume with a 500K, but the stock tone is still 100K. So I'm gonna replace the whole wiring harness, and probably gonna get a fret job on this thing too, because this thing had a fret job at some point in its life and it is not done very well. The action is not very good on this guitar. But yeah, I'll show you the Shaw pickups, because not a lot of people have heard Shaw pickups on a very high gain amplifier. They sound great, but they're not wax potted, so they're super noisy. All right, so yeah, let's hear this thing. Yeah, it's like quite literally unplayable because the pickups are so microphonic. So my plan is to put something cool in the bridge at some point. Obviously, I'll keep the Shaw pickup with the guitar as well as the original wiring harness. But yeah, for now, it's not usable for the type of stuff I played. So, anyways, let's talk more about the amp. Sorry, guys. Ned Beatty, my favorite guitarist. Everybody go subscribe to Cyano Audio. I love his channel, man. Definitely far beyond my realm of knowledge as far as the technicalities of amplifiers and stuff like that. But he's got a nice voice, and I just enjoy listening to him talk. And sometimes something sticks in my old ADD brain, some of the things he says, so... All right, so from France, what's up, Eric? Thanks for hanging out, man. It's really cool to have people from all over the world here. No, I guarantee you that is not a fret, Jay. I appreciate it, man, but it's not a fret. I know what fret buzz sounds like versus something on the bridge rattling, and it is not a fret. So some of you guys may remember this guitar, and yeah, it had some issues when it first showed up. Appreciate you, Lyle, man. That's honestly, it's an honor. I love your channel too, so that's really cool to hear that you follow the channel. Honestly, this YouTube is weird, man. Like, I feel like nobody watches these videos. It's hard to like wrap your head around people actually in the real world watching this stuff, but that's what it is, I guess. So yeah, it's cool to hear, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, this guitar came with some wiring issues. I still am unsure if I'm going to change out the EMGs or not. Probably will and put them in something else, but let's yeah. Let's tune it up again, because apparently the weather is just throwing all of my guitars out of whack here. But I have managed to get this thing playing really well. And I'm sure people are going to wonder how this amp sounds with active pickups. So we'll give it a try. Also, with that being said, guys, I have Greenbacks sitting over here, and I have G12 T75s. It's already after 3 o'clock. I wanted to try this on a different speaker for you guys, so vote in the live chat whether you want to hear the amp on Greenbacks or you want to hear it on G12 T75 speakers. I figure those are two of the more common speaker alternatives to the Vintage 30. So you guys let me know. All right, so there you go. That was with EMGs. To me, personally, I don't like it. I don't like dark amps with EMGs because EMGs are compressed. They roll off some of the top end, and therefore it just kind of makes for a like woolly, kind of nasally type of sound. Just experienced that with another demo that I just did. EMGs, just for me, they don't pair with darker amps very well. I like them on brighter amps. I like them with Marshalls and stuff, but yeah. That's my opinion. So if you guys were wondering how it sounds with EMGs, there you go. So, yeah. I see most of the comments are for Greenback, so let me grab that Greenback cab real quick. We'll swap that out, and we'll hear how it sounds on Greenbacks. Talk amongst yourselves. God, these rando cabs are heavy. All right, so there we go. Got the greenbacks, got the mic position, got my PRS SE245. All right, so just so you guys know, these are the G12C Greenback. They're not the standard Greenback. So they do sound a tad different, but they're still very, very much, you know, in the Greenback realm of things. So, yeah, here's the amp through Greenbacks. All right, so there you go, man. The greenbacks sound pretty damn good. I lost a lot of people while changing over those cabs. Like 30 people disappeared. Yeah, greenbacks. This cab, I love this cab, dude. These Marshall 425A cabs sound incredible. You can never find one, get one. As long as they're a decent price. People are charging like $800 or $900 for these cabs because they're pretty rare. But it's yeah. So the 425A cab came with the Hendrix reissue and with the vintage moderns. That's what they were paired with. So, what was I gonna say? Sorry. Also, for those of you guys who don't know, a little secret: the Mojo Tone Watchtower speakers are the G12C speakers. So, if you guys, you can't buy the Celestion Marshall branded G12C anywhere separately, and Marshall doesn't even make them anymore, as far as I'm aware. But if you buy the Mojo Tone Watchtower speaker, it's got the green, like it's greenback, everything, gold frame. It's the same speaker. So, little secret. Get a guitar with Invader pickups. Sorry, bro. I don't really like the Invader. That's why I don't have one. But so you guys can see, man, that Randall cab, like I said, you guys are preferring it with the greenbacks. I definitely think it sounds good. I preferred it with that V30 and that Randall V30 in particular because it does have a top end spike. It's got a top end brightness to it that I think benefits this amp particularly. If you want a darker, smoother sound, then the PRS is definitely, or the greenback, at least these greenbacks are the way to go. I could grab, I think my other, I've got a Marshall 1960 BX, but I think it's buried in my stash behind a couple of other cabs. So we would lose half the audience if I went to try to dig that out. That was, Lyle, I had the MXR M77 modified overdrive on in front of the amplifier. Let me actually turn it off real quick because I haven't played anything unboosted in a while. So here we go. This is the amp with no pedals in front. All right, so there you go. That was the amp unboosted. Again, we got my PRS SE245. This has the 5815 LTS pickups, which are like the import version of these pickups. They're supposed to be a lower output PAF, but to me, they have a lot more mids than most PAF pickups do. Regardless, this guitar and the amp, or this guitar just in general, I love this guitar. I'm actually going to put a video out on this guitar tomorrow. This is becoming one of my favorite guitars very, very quickly, and that includes over my Les Paul Customs and stuff. This thing plays like a dream. So what was I gonna say? Lyle says he likes the Greenbacks much more than the vintage 30s. He says there's an 800 hertz honking-ish resonance thing. Okay, understood. It seems like a lot of you guys are liking it better on the Greenbacks. Here in the room, I like it better on the vintage 30s, but this is definitely a very balanced, very smooth sound, and I understand why a lot of people are digging it. I'm personally digging it as well. You guys just, you know me. I like a little bit more of a brash sound generally. I like something with some cut to it. Also, Jimbo, how many times are you going to tell the chat that I ignored your comment? I didn't ignore your comment, man. If you genuinely want something, you have to message me. And I might not reply because Facebook puts some of the messages in a spam box. So you got to tag me on Facebook or something, and if I didn't reply, and let me know because I didn't get your message. The 800 hertz was when I had the boost on. Oh, okay. So yeah, you're not liking the sound of the overdrive in front of it then. I gotcha. All right, so what else do you guys want to hear from me? Because I got about 10 to 15 minutes left before I got to go. Let me know what you guys want to hear, and I will do my best to honor that. Trying to make sure that I'm not missing any messages or anything that I need to see here real quick. You guys want to hear it with the SD1 or TS9? Sorry, guys. I don't have more cabs handy. They're buried. So that's not something I'm going to be able to get to in a timely fashion. Mainly different pickups, different overdrives, anything along those lines. So, yeah, as far as the amp, I like it. I think it sounds good. I think there are, for me, a couple of things in the high gain channel that would keep me from buying it over other amps personally. Again, I know Mark likes a smooth and a thick distortion sound. This definitely has that. I like something with a little bit more bite, a little bit more upper mid cut to it personally, which is why for me this would be a great blending amp. This would be an amp that I would blend with something like a Marshall or something, and just to kind of get everything that I want out of the spectrum. But oh man, Lyle, I can't play anything like Tool. I'm sorry, my friend. my playing range is very limited. That's why I didn't start a YouTube channel for a long time, because my ability to play stuff is not very much up there. I can definitely dial the gain down though a little bit, and I'm assuming that you guys want to hear the main or the channel 3, because channel 2 is goofy. I will give you that. Channel 2 is very goofy. I like the Behringer EQ pedal. It does the job. I would suggest to support different companies, but I bought that for a video project, so that's why I have that here. But it does the job. Nu metal riffs. Why would I do that? Why would I play nu metal riffs? I like good riffs. Hold on. I already played really heavy stuff on here, man. Plus, hard and heavy is all a matter of opinion, right? Let's play it with the exact opposite. Let's play it with the gain down a little bit. All right, so that was with the gain rolled down. I did roll the volume up and turn the gain down on my interface a little bit in order to be able to turn up the master volume. With the gain a little lower and the volume a little higher, it definitely seems to be bringing forward some of the higher frequencies a little bit more. But yeah, let's grab one more cool guitar. What kind of guitar should I grab? My brain is melting down. I just got tired all of a sudden. I'm starting to get that afternoon sleepiness, I guess. Trying to look for a cool guitar. How about something drop tuned a little bit? Let's grab my Les Paul Studio that I just set up with new pickups. That's how you know I'm starting to get out of it, because I just grabbed the wrong guitar. Oh, anything with a JB. I don't know that I have anything that is actually set up properly with a JB at the moment, honestly. I might. Let me check after I check this guitar out real quick. So this is a Les Paul Studio Faded that I set up for a show this weekend. I played with my friend's band called Taste of Steel. If you guys are somewhat into regional hardcore, you probably know that band. But anyways, they play in drop B, and I didn't have any guitars with drop B. Didn't have any guitars with like real gnarly sounding pickups for stuff like that with a lot of clarity. So Joe Ballagher, my homie over at Ballagher Guitars, sent me out a special set of pickups. Sweetwater sent me some Graphtec locking ratio tuners and a Graphtec nut. And I put a Tone Pros locking bridge on this thing, and we basically pimped this guitar out for lower tuning. So right now it's in drop C. So we're gonna hear the amp with drop C on greenbacks of all things. Probably not what you would expect, but I bet you it's gonna sound pretty good. All right, so there's that. For some reason today, the amplifier is feeding back really bad. Obviously, I'm sitting right next to it, and it's kind of loud, but usually they don't squeal quite like that. So it's possible that it does actually have a microphonic preamp tube in it. So let me see if I can find a guitar with a JB in it real quick, and that'll probably be the last thing for me today. But thank you guys for hanging out. Not many of you hit the like button. We had like 130 people in here, and we got 66 likes. So, you know, I got to beg you guys to do the YouTube thing. Hit the like button, please. If you guys are interested in this amp at all or anything else that I'm using in this video, please do me a favor. Check out the affiliate links, Sweetwater and Zounds. I don't know if either of those companies have these in stock at the moment, but you can get on the pre-order, get on the wait list if you want to get one, or anything else that you guys need. Anything you buy from those affiliate links really, really helps the channel out. It allows them to send me cool stuff and do cool videos, the stuff that you guys request. So had to get my little plug in for my affiliate stuff in there, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys that actually visits that stuff, because this is how I make a living now. And every single thing that you guys buy through those affiliate links helps me out. So, and sincerely, I actually do pretty well on those links, to be honest with you guys. So thank you, each and every one of you who use those links. I very, very genuinely appreciate it. You make my life easier, legitimately. So, yeah. With that being said, let's grab a different guitar. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Follow the other John Brown's channel. follow Psionic Audio if you guys like awesome guitar related content, especially if you like getting into the nerdy stuff, because both of those guys get into the nerdy stuff more than I do. I'm not all there in the head, so I can't get into that stuff. All right, so today is apparently a Les Paul parade. What did I do with my tuner? Okay, this is actually in tune. It's kind of in tune. So this is my what year is it? 2015? Yeah, 2015, same year as my Silverburst Les Paul Custom. This is my 2015 Gibson Les Paul Studio. This has a Duncan JB in it. Money for new cheese? I gotta go get that cheese from the fridge. You're right, man. Yeah, so for those of you who wanted to hear the Duncan JB, here it is. I'm going to turn the boost off. We're going to go directly in the amp. I'll turn the boost on. We'll all have fun. Some of us are going to shave our armpits. It's going to be a great time. You guys are right. I'm an idiot. Vocal mic's on. Chronic Narnia, your ears don't deserve to live. All right, I'm going to call it right there because I can't even remember how to play the riffs that I'm trying to play at this moment. My brain is wandering like crazy. So hopefully through that shit show, you guys were able to get some of the information that you were looking for. Not my best live stream. I apologize, guys. I'm a little all over the place today. But yeah, some of you guys seem to be liking the tones from the amplifier. It seems like a lot of people are digging the amp through the Greenbacks, so keep that in mind. I don't think anybody else has demoed this amplifier on Greenbacks yet. So one thing I will tell you guys is that before I sent this back, which is today, I'm going to tell it today, hard to tell if I like it or not. I said I liked it. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, man, my ADD is really bad today for some reason. That's really weird. Probably because I haven't been sleeping a lot lately. But anyways, thank you guys for hanging out. I have 2 other videos recorded with this amplifier. One is where I try it through a bunch of different speaker cabinets, and the other one is where I try against a bunch of other modern high-gain amplifiers. That is going to be over on my second channel, so if you guys are not subscribed to my second channel, you want to see some more comparisons with the PRS MT100 to get a better idea of if it's the amp for you or not, if you should spend your hard-earned money on it or not, make sure to check out that second channel because those videos are going to be coming within the next few days, and I will see you guys here tomorrow on that PRS SE McCarty 245 single cut. That guitar is awesome. I'm excited for you guys to see that review. I hope you dig it. And yeah, thanks for hanging out for the live stream. Again, hit that like button if you haven't hit the like button. Make sure that you hit those affiliate links if you're going to buy anything new from Sweetwater or Zounds because it greatly helps. As always, guys, love hanging out with you guys. I think I'm going to try to do some more live streams here in the near future, maybe on a day where brain work better. But yeah, that's it. Thanks to everybody who hung out. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on the channel here tomorrow. Kyle out. See ya.